Well, this is gonna need some tea, y'all. But hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you guys so much for stopping by me today. We're gonna be doing this pink look, this blown up matte pink look, and I'm gonna show you guys my failed attempts at doing this. So I started off by applying my eye cream. These are things that I normally do. And then I'm going to apply this e.l.f. concealer, the e.l.f. matte concealer. Applied it and it didn't look that good. So I'm like, okay, let's go into a little bit of this Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer, right? So I applied some of that and blended it on the concealer, and that's what I look like. Yes. Yeah, this was all the cues for me to stop. Okay, but I continue. I'm going to show you guys all the mistakes that I made so you guys could see what to do when working with a palette like this. This is the Sephora Pro palette, and I'm using that pink shade right there. These does come with names, but it comes with the name on a plastic. You know, that little film that you take off the palette, and I ain't got time to keep that film. I threw it out already. So yeah, they do have names. So that's what it ended up looking like, right? And I was not feeling it because the crease was, the oils was seeping through, so it made the crease look more intense and pigment than the rest of it, all right? Then we took another sip of tea, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should try with the Anastasia primer, only because it actually showed up very pigmented on that area. But it creased, so I'm like, let me set it with some powder, some translucent powder. So I used the Fenty powder to set it, and then I went in with the same pink shade and I started to blend this over my eyelid. Now, while blending it, I realized that, okay, what is going on? It's not blending, it's patchy. It's like, it's just patchy, not blending well, very blotchy. And you could tell the mood that I was in because I was not even smiling, okay? So then I went back again with the Anastasia primer by itself without the translucent powder. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a powder that making it skip. Started to apply it. I felt like it was going right. And then I started to blend it. And while I was blending it, the same thing started to happen. It started to separate. It was blotchy. Then I realized, okay, I'm going to try one more method. And that's the method that I normally use, right? Which is my concealer and setting powder over it, right? So at this point, my eyes was irritated. The pink was staying in my eyelid, but I'm like, I want to do this look. So I was persistent about getting this look done. So I went in with my Too Faced concealer that I normally use. And then I set it with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, only because I used the lighter shade translucent powder this time, because I wanted it to have a lighter base so the pink could really show up. And again, I started to shake my head, feeling positive, like, okay, this is going to work out well. So I started to blend that pink shade all over my eyelids again. And at this point, when I saw it started to come blotchy, I was like, I am not wiping this off again, and I need this look to get done. So I did that, and then I took the other lighter pink shade that I just showed you guys. It's like a more pinky, purpley shade. It's lighter than the one that I put on the lid. And I started to diffuse the ends in the crease of this eyeshadow. And then I realized that, oh, something strange is happening. It's getting patchy. I try to blend over it. That's not working. So at this point, I'm like, listen, I gotta make this work. So then I reached for my, yeah, it wasn't cute. So then it's not terrible, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. It was too blotchy, as you guys could see on the other eye, that other eye that I'm not working on. So I took this Retro Matte liquid lipstick from MAC in the shade To Matte With Love. They no longer make this shade, but you could use any vibrant pink liquid matte lipstick that you have, or like a cream pink base. And I just used that to blend over my eyelid. I didn't bother to wipe it off. I just went right over what I already had, and I just blend this over it. Just be very, I want to say be very quick in blending it, but very gentle. So you want to blend it fast but gentle. So don't be pressing on it too hard. Just lightly tap and blend this out. And then before it could dry, because this is a liquid matte lipstick, you want to work very fast and put the shadow into it, right? So I went ahead and applied the same pink shade again, and I applied this all over my eyelid. And y'all, look at the intensity, the pigmentation, the smoothness of the way this turned out. Not that it wasn't perfect, but it was perfect enough. If I got this when I first started, like the first try when I tried to blend this eyeshadow, I would have been satisfied. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I'm actually a little upset that I had to try so many times and try all these new process just to go back to something that I would normally do. Now, as for this eyeshadow palette, I think it does have some issue because I actually tried using it and using that lighter bluish shade. You guys will see a look at that coming up, and it didn't turn out well. Now I'm showing you guys the difference between adding the lipstick and then blending the shadow and the side without the lipstick. Now I'm going to take this very pretty like corally shade, and I'm going to use this just to diffuse out the ends and just blend it so we get like a nice transition. It was still giving me a little bit of issue. It wasn't blending like I would like it to, but it definitely looked a lot better than when I first started to do this, right? So then I went back with the brush that I used for the more intense pink shade, and I just used that to blend it out. And then any area where you see any gap or any little blotch, I try to use some of the pink shadow to just press it in, and it actually worked really well. Now we're going into eyeliner, and I choose to take this yellow eyeliner from NYX. These eyeliners they're good. They're very good for the price. However, they're very they get very dry and flaky. Right, that's the word I'm looking for. So you got to work really fast with this. Also, if you do layer it, whether you layer it or not, it's gonna crack. So just do what you got to do to get the look that you want. Right, so I'm gonna create a wing liner. At this point, I feel like I was getting impatient with the look, so I wasn't spending as much time I would normally do to perfect the eye look. So after doing that yellow liner, I decided to go in with some black just to line over my lash line so it provides a little bit more contrast and still give me still define my eyes, right? So I'm going to use the black to define my eyes, and I'm going to clean up my face, and I'm going to go ahead and apply back some moisture under my eye because let me tell y'all, my eyes been through it. Y'all see it, right? Now moving on to the skin, I'm going to go through this really quickly. I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty primer. As always, I feel like this is the only primer I've been using. Well, I really love these primers. I use the soft matte, then I take my Bare Pro foundation, the shade Maple, and I'm going to use this just to go all over my face. This is one of my favorite foundations for a nice flawless look. Anyway, I'm glad I actually posted this tutorial. I was not going to post it because of all the errors and how it was going, but I'm glad I did because it turns out, you'll see. And then I took this concealer, and this is the wrong shade of concealer that I actually took, but I didn't realize until it was kind of late, right? Because I normally don't use this shade of concealer, but because I wanted a lighter concealer as my eyeshadow base, I went for the shade Mocha, and I used it as the lighter base for my eyeshadow. So then it was sitting in front of me, so I accidentally picked it up to use as my concealer on my face. And this is when I realized that, wait, this is actually very light. Normally I will use chestnut, y'all. I don't use Mocha. I probably a little bit over chestnut when I do feel like it, but I normally use chestnut. But you guys will see how I made this work, right? Now after blending that out, I take the side of the sponge that I use for the foundation and go over the areas where the concealer ends, just to blend everything in so it's nice and blended and smooth. And then I will be setting this with my Laura Mercier medium deep powder, and this is going to tone the concealer down somewhat because it's like a neutral shape. It's not a very light white powder, okay? So I'm going to use that just to set all the areas where we concealed. Now overall, as for this shadow on the palette and all that, I love the colors in the palette. They're very pretty. However, I find the shadows to be very powdery and dry and hard to work with. So I'm still working on trying to find ways to work with this palette. But I really like the colors in the palette. Just that there's an issue with it. It's obvious, right? So then what I'm going to do is go with my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW50. And I'm going to use this just to set all the areas of my face so I didn't put translucent powder. And also just to go over where the translucent powder stop and just to blend everything out so it's nice and seamless, right? And I'm going to use the powder just to set my nose area there and use it as my contour. I'm not going to go in the darker powder because I find that it can turn out a little bit too intense. Now I'm going into my Cover FX Face Perfector palette, and I'm going to take the contour shade just to use that to give my face some shadow, structure my face, and warm my face up because this is like a warm It's more of like a bronzer, but it's deep enough for a contour, so it gives me like a soft contour look. And I really like this palette a lot. You guys see me using it, so obviously I do love this palette. I'm gonna bronze and contour and shrink this forehead, because honey, especially with this hairstyle, this forehead is out there. So I'm gonna shrink it and bronze it and just bring everything together. And that's for this hairstyle. If you guys want to see this hairstyle, I'm gonna leave a link below. This tutorial is already uploaded, so you guys could go check that out. Now I'm gonna clean up the contour using the finishing powder in this palette. I'm just gonna take it onto under the contour area, just to like emphasize the contour a little bit more and clean it up. And then I'm also gonna take it on my cheeks, on my cheek area where that contour stop, just to blend it in, because sometimes you could obviously see lines of where your contour stop. So I'm just using that just to finish it off and make sure everything is nice and blended. Then I'm gonna go in with this blush from MAC. It's called Frankly Scarlet. Yes, it's like a vibrant pinky, like a deep coral shade, I should say. Should I say coral? Yeah, it's more like a deep coral shade. There's a little hint of orange in it, but it's mostly pink and it's very vibrant. So I use that to apply on my cheeks, and also the way I'm applying this blush is into the shadow. So I'm bringing it right on the end where the shadow is, and then blending on my cheeks, and also blending it into my eyebrows, into the shadows, so you see everything nicely transitioning. You don't see like a bright pink blush on my cheek and then the bright pink shadow up on my eyes, right? Hopefully that's making sense. And then I went ahead, because I was seeing to the line, like the contrast was just too much. So what I did was just take my sponge and just press in the blush so everything is nice and seamless. And then I'm gonna go in with this highlighter from MAC in the shade, and the shade Sugar Gold. Is actually like a very pretty pinky highlight. I really love this highlight, especially for like when I'm doing vibrant looks and doing like summer, springtime. It's such a perfect highlight, and I love it for those looks. I'm gonna take that on the higher points of my cheeks, and also above my brow bone. And then I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop Banging Brunette pencil, eyebrow pencil in shade Banging Brunette. I'm just gonna use that to lightly fill in my brows in the areas where I need a little bit more hair, where my hair is disappearing. And then I'm gonna set it with this clear brow set from Benefit. I really love this. Actually holds my brows in place. Only thing is that it's a little shiny, but that's fine. It actually really holds my brows. Now I'm gonna finish off the eyes, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this eye pencil in Honey Dew, and I'm going to use that to line my waterline. And then I'm going to take the pink shade also from ColourPop, and I'm going to use this to go under my waterline, because I'm going to apply some of that pink shadow, and I want something to be there for it to hold on to, because we already experienced it that this shadow might not work the way we expect it to normally. So I just make sure I put something under there so I can hold it and make it, you know, look the way I want it to look. Now I'm also going to bring it out a little bit under that yellow liner, just to provide a little bit more contrast. But then I decided that I'm also going to just add the black wing liner under this yellow, just to emphasize it a little bit more, so the yellow could pop even more, okay? And neither the black liner or the yellow liner is perfect, y'all, but it was the best I could do at this point. All right, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Spend your time and perfect your liner. Don't be like me. Have a little bit more patience. I don't know why my patience ran out. I'm normally a little bit more patient than this, but hey, that's how it is. Now I'm just gonna blend that inner corner area right there, so that we don't have any harshness going on right in that inner corner, right? So we're gonna take that same brush and just blend it out so it's nice and smooth. And then I'm gonna take the shade from the palette, and then I'm gonna use that to highlight my inner corner. It's like a very pale pink shimmer shade, so when it went onto my eyes it looked more like it's white, but it actually has a little bit of like pinkness in it, so that's why I used it, just to make sure that that area just is nice and bright, and to finish off the look. Now I applied my lashes, and now I'm going to apply some mascara and then move into the lips. And because I have little curly lashes that gets in the way, when I was applying that yellow eyeliner, a lot of it got onto my lashes. So you want to make sure you cover that with mascara. And then I'm going to go back with the eyeliner pencil, the Honeydew eyeliner pencil, just to reinforce that line, right? So that it's back. Because my eyes, my eyes was already irritated. So I think it was tearing up a little bit. So it removed some of the eyeliner. So I just gave it a break. And then towards the end of the makeup look, I went back and just applied some more of that white, that off-white cream color eyeliner. Now going to the lips, I'm taking MAC Chestnut lip liner and I'm going to use that to line my lips. And then I'm going in with this pink shade of lip gloss from Fenty, and I'm going to apply about 2 pounds of it, you know, as much as you need. And that will be it for this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and please leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've tried this Sephora palette before, if you had the same issues with it. Let me know if you like the way this look turned out. Please don't judge my liners. As I said, they weren't perfect. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and on to the next one. Bye guys.